Welcome back, guys. It's me, Brandon1234, coach of your Washington Y Naughties, here to bring you round one of GDL playoffs. Now, this is a rematch versus the versus DD12345, coach of the Pheonix Solgaleos. Um, and I deleted my team because I'm very stupid and I delayed this video by a lot for reasons. I just got busy, school, shit. And also, I had a finals game, which I actually will include at the end of this video. So make sure to stick around, this one will be a little longer, because, well, I want to show off, basically. um, so yeah, today there is no team builder. Yeah, cause I deleted my team. I didn't really want to record a team builder today either. So I was super busy. Like I've been pretty busy. Starting new leagues, being really focused on leagues that I actually have a chance of winning the championship at. I've been busy with other leagues and shit, and I know I probably should prioritize this one, but like when you bring defensive Celesteela every week, it's bound to get boring eventually. I mean, I still have fun walling people with it, but you know, I don't know. Regardless, though, let's move on to the battle. Okay, the battle will will start now. I just needed to change up the music and shit. So he ends up bringing Darmanitan, Landorus, Galvantula, Mega Medicham, Gengar, and Noivern. While my team is Rotom no, not Mega Latios. Regular Latios, Seismitoad, Celesteela, Zero Aura, and Aromatisse. Right off the bat, not Galarian Darmanitan, regular Darmanitan, and Landorus, and of course Mega Medicham are the biggest threats, but I also have, no switch-ins to Gengar at all. So I decided to lead with Zero Aura, in case he decided to lead with Galvantula. I didn't want my speed to be lowered again. So the sets I brought were Calm Mind Latios, Choice Scarf Rotom Heat, Rocky Helmet Physically Defensive Seismitoad, Fizdef Celesteela, Subtoxic Protect Zero Aura again. Like last week, because last time we fought, that shit did absolute work, so I wanted to bring it again because it really is the best Zero Aura set this matchup. At least I think. And specially defensive for Aromatisse for the Noivern. So I lead Zero Aura, he leads Mega Medicham. I want to scout for what he's gonna go for. He goes for Drain Punch. So I think I have a pretty easy switch into Rotom Heat because now he'll go for Ice Punch, but no. He ends up going for Drain Punch, so now Rotom is substantially chipped, which makes Darmanitan a substantially bigger problem. So I just decide to Voltage on this thing. I reveal that I'm Scarf to him, which is kind of bad on my part, but I should have just switched into Latios in the first place. Now I go into Latios, he goes for Drain Punch. So I'm fine now. He goes into Noivern. Sees my Yachi Berry. I go for Shadow Ball, just trying to kill the Medicham. He makes a good double into Gengar, probably trying to scout Aromatisse coming in, but I switch into Celesteela instead, which he actually goes for Substitute. I go for Earthquake because I'm Leech Seed, Protect, Heavy Slam, Earthquake this matchup. So I end up going for Leech Seed on the Landorus. I go for Protect, trying to scout what he's gonna go for. Brings Gravity Landorus again, but because I'm physically defensive Celesteela, I end up living somehow and go for Heavy Slam to get a pretty big chunk off on this thing. I just go for Protect to gain even more health back. He goes for Rock Polish, so really good play on his part. I have to switch into Seismiter at this point so that I don't just die. And he ends up sacking Landorus. I go for Stealth Rock because Leech Seed kills him anyway. He goes into Metacham, so I just immediately switch into Latios. Goes for Drain Punch, doesn't do much. And now I'm basically forced to go for Roost here. Now I go for Shadow Ball, really? Whatever. I go into Aromatisse. He goes for Defog, so... He switches into Darmanitan. Like, he really aggressively defogged into this thing. He didn't want to get Rock's Chip on this thing, so that tells me he's probably Scarf or Banded or Boots. No, not Boots. Goes for Flare Blitz, takes Rocky Helmet, takes the recoil, so this Darmanitan is actually really chipped now. And judging by the damage, I can tell that he's Choice Scarf. I'm stupid though, and still went into Rotom anyway. And now Rotom's dead. So I basically just choked the game right here. Like, in reflection, I should have never gone into Rotom there. I should have just gone into... I don't know what I should have gone into. Like, Celesteela doesn't really do much at this point in the game. Like, I have Aromatisse for the Noivern, and I have no switching into Gengar anyway. Mega Medicham, like, Celesteela is at 50 right now, so Mega Medicham just KOs that shit with Drain Punch anyway. So, and I need the Rotom for a potential offensive Galvantula, and I just end up really choking this game away. Now I go for Roost on the Noivern as he goes for... Oh, as he switches out into Noivern. So it turns out he doesn't have Draco Meteor. Like, I can tell by his moveset that he's like defensive Noivern, and he didn't bring Draco Meteor. He's probably Defog, Air Slash, Roost, and Flamethrower. So that tells me that I can just set up Calm Mind on this thing and potentially, like, sweep him now. So I end up going for Psyshock. Now I'm at 50. He goes into Darmanitan. I live a Choice Scarf U-turn, so I just go for Roost. I probably should go for Roost again, but I just end up going for Psyshock to kill the Gengar, and now Darmanitan comes in and kills my Latios with Flare Blitz. Now I go into Celesteela to basically sack it, so that the Darmanitan goes down, and turns out it doesn't go down, and I have to get a ton of chip on my Aromatisse to KO it, but I end up going for Wish because I don't really need to kill him with Moonblast in order for me to potentially win this game. Now he goes into Mega Medicham, I go for Protect, he goes for Zen Headbutt, trying to kill my Aromatisse, but I just go for Protect. I end up living Zen Headbutt, I don't get flinched, and I go for Moonblast. Now, this is perfect. But the thing is, I only have Plasma Fists on my Zeraora. So he goes for Volt Switch. He's Life Orb. And I end up going for Substitute, and this is a moment where I absolutely choked the game the most. Because I forgot that Bug Buzz was a sound move again. If y'all don't remember, this is exactly what happened in the first battle, and I won that battle regardless because I hacked them. This time, though, I wasn't as fortunate because this is literally the last 2 turns of the battle. I go for Protect, just hoping he might choke and go for Volt Switch or something. But at this point, it's no use. I go for Plasma Fist. It does a fair chunk of damage, and he Bug Buzzes me, and Zeraora goes down. I definitely could have played this game so much better. I definitely should have played this battle a lot better. Like, I really just do not understand how I choked this game so fucking hard. Legit, like, I choked this game so hard in playoffs. Which, yeah, I always choke in playoffs, but like, this one really hurt because I knew I was gonna have to upload it. And here we are, so. But yeah, in terms of like a reflection upon how I played this throughout the entire league, I definitely think I played this like pretty decently, but my team kind of just carried me throughout the whole way. Like Celesteela, Zero Aura, Mega Venusaur, and Latias, just such a crazy defensive core that a lot of teams have trouble breaking. I definitely could have drafted a wall breaker so that I could have pulled through a lot of more things that I didn't really have switch-ins to. Like, I probably should have drafted Pangoro instead of Scrafty so that I had a decent wall breaker that so I didn't have to rely on just outwalling everything instead of, and I really had no strong offensive pressure because Celesteela just went defensive every week because it needed to go defensive every week. The threats in this meta are just way too strong for Celesteela to run. Like, I only ran Power Herb, Autotomized Meteor Beam one time in week 2. And yeah, it did work then, but in the rest of the matchups in the entire league, I had nothing. And my offensive pressure really just came down to Latias and Zero Aura, which Zero Aura is the cleaner. So Zero Aura needs the wall breakers to clean up. So Zero Aura needs the wall breakers to clean up late game when everything is chipped, and thanks to its really high speed, it can actually clean up in games. But because I just didn't draft the wall breaker, my team ended up just falling apart in situations like this where I would have much rather had offensive pressure instead of defensive bulk and just tried to win off of that. And yeah, I made it decently far, and I was 3 seed in the league. I went 7-3 plus 9. I mean, no, 7-2. Yeah, 7-2 plus 9. So I definitely played this league well. And my overall record of the league is still 7-3 plus 8. But I definitely think I could have done better than that. Like, a lot better than that. But GG's to Didi, he had a ton of wall breakers. This is honestly like a really bad matchup for me because he has, like, in the back, he has Cortana, he has Darmanitan, he has Landorus, he has Mega Medicham, he has Gengar. Like, I don't switch into that shit. And I tried to run offense with Celesteela being my real only defensive tool, but because of the overall nature of my draft, going offensive is just not an option. Like, that I can reliably do. So, GG's to Didi. I definitely think I could have played this match a lot better. I definitely think I could have played this whole league better, to be honest. But there will be a new draft analysis going up, I think, next week, sometime next week. So, look forward to that, y'all. And with that, I won't say goodbye right now because, like I said, I had the finals match that I was focusing on, so I'll see you guys at that battle. Welcome back, everybody. So I'm not gonna go over the whole teams, but basically my draft is Mega Alakazam, Weavile, and Fernape core, with Tapu Fini, Registeel, Snorlax, and Roselia. But the team that I actually ended up bringing because it had a like basically this is the matchup: Infernape, Alakazam, Roselia, Tapu Fini, Registeel, Snorlax versus Kyurem Black, Alolan Persian, Emboar, Mega Mawile. Yeah, he got Kyurem Black and Mega Mawile in Gen 7. Suicune and Uxie. So this is definitely gonna be a challenge for me to win. Mega Mawile, I don't have anything for. Mega Alakazam also hates Mawile because of Sucker Punch shenanigans, which could actually like just end up ruining me. So without further ado, let's get into the battle. Um, so I end up leading Roselia because oh shit. So I end up using like leading Roselia because his team is really weak to spikes. But he ends up leading Uxie, which was smart of him, and he ends up going for Thunder Wave to paralyze my Roselia and potentially prevent it from getting up spikes. He goes for Stealth Rock. I get paralyzed again, and then he goes for Psyshock. So he got up rocks, paralyzed me twice in a row, and I only got a Sleep Powder off of it. So he ends up making the switch into Emboar while I end up hard switching into Registeel, maybe expecting the Mawile to come in on the Roselia because I don't want Mawile like setting up Swords Dance for free in front of Roselia, which it definitely can do because my moveset is Leech Seed, Spikes, Sludge Bomb, and I don't remember the last move to be honest. And Sleep Powder, yeah, and Sleep Powder. So I switch into Registeel, he goes into Emboar as well, so good good switch on him, on his part. I end up going for Protect to scout what he's gonna do. He goes for Flare Blitz and I'm like, I'm chilling, he might be a choice item. So I'll just go into Tapu Fini. But he actually ends up going for Gigavolt Havoc here, so good play on his part. I'm more Cotton Berry so I can wall the Kyurem Black as much as I can, but he just ends up getting a crit on Wild Charge, which didn't matter because I didn't have Wakan after the Z move. And I forgot to put Magic Guard on Alakazam as its regular ability, so at this point I'm thinking I'm fucked. But I don't think he wants to stay in on this thing in front of a Mega Alakazam. So I end up going for Hard Substitute. And he ends up going for a Sucker Punch. So I ended up saving my ass over here. Like, if I didn't go for a Substitute right here, the game would be over. The game would be over. Legitimately. Just not a chance. He ends up going for Sucker Punches. I end up Psyshocking him. So I'm so glad I got to But I'm super glad I went for Substitute instead of Psyshocking. Like, I made a switch read, but it ended up saving me the game even more. Now, he ends up bringing in Persian, so I'm getting scared that this might be like a Choice Scarf set with U-turn, like knockoff, foul play, and shit. So I end up going into Registeel as he ends up going for foul play. He goes for Parting Shot, but forgets that with Clear Body, like I end up forgetting this too, to be honest, but he goes for Parting Shot, but because I'm Clear Body, he can't lower my stats, and the move technically fails, which means he can't switch out. And I end up getting rocks for free, which is huge for the Kyurem Black in the back. Oh hey, that rhymes. For the Kyurem Black in the back. He ends up going for knockoff though and knocking off my leftovers, which is my only form of recovery, which yeah, that could have been nice, but getting Toxic up on this Persian so that Alakazam doesn't have to rely on a Focus Blast hitting is definitely really nice for me. Um, he ends up going into Suicune to set up on me, and I end up just going for Seismic Toss to get Chip on the Alolan Persian. And he's Calm Mind Suicune, so I'm kind of fucked here. Goes for Calm Mind, I go for another Seismic Toss, and this basically turns into stalling. Like, he's basically stalling. I'm sorry, I had trouble with the music. So yeah, this basically turns into me letting him get up to +4 with Calm Mind and Rest Talk. Just Calm Mind, Rest, Sleep Talk, Calm Mind, Scald, to the point where he ends up eventually being able to KO my Registeel with Scald. Well, at least that I'm in range of it, so I end up finally making the right decision and getting this thing on like and getting Roselia on this thing. Holy shit, I can't talk. Anyway, so yeah, Roselia is up versus the Suicune. I finally decide to grow a brain and try and go for Leech Seed on this thing, but because I let this thing get to +4, he's able to Scald me twice and KO me without me getting up my seed. So at this point, I look at the matchup and yeah, I need Infernape. And I probably should have gone into Mega Alakazam instead of this thing, but I decided to get up Infernape because Mega Alakazam outspeeds everything, and I have Registeel and Snorlax for the Mega Mawile. So I think I should be fine with Mega Alakazam cleaning up in the late game. So I end up going into Infernape, Thunder Punching because I'm Expert Belt in Infernape. So I 2-hit KO this thing, and he just ends up going for Scald and KOing me, but now he's in range of Mega Alakazam's Psyshock, which means I can just KO this thing and not let it win versus me. I'm definitely in a very sticky situation right now, because now he just goes into Alolan Persian and probably Parting Shots me, or goes into anything else. Mega Mawile in the endgame looks absolutely amazing for him, so not very good for me. He ends up going for Foul Play, I get more Toxic Chip on him. Goes for Parting Shot, and then goes into Mawile, which intimidates me. So my curse only ends up me getting into -1. He goes for Sword Stance, so now I'm scared. But I go for Earthquake, and I get the fucking godlike crit. I'm really sorry for the hacks, right? But like, holy shit, this crit was huge. This crit was huge. At least it didn't KO, and he just KOs me back with Play Rough because Snorlax is slow as shit. I just go into Registeel and hope he goes for like Sword Stance, trying to like scouts me going for like Protect or some shit, and goes for Sword Stance again. I don't know what I was thinking, to be honest. And now it looks like I'm gonna lose the game. This shit just goes for Sucker Punch, or goes for Play Rough on my Substitute because he knows I have Substitute. So I just come in with Alakazam, I trace the huge power, but he goes for Sucker Punch. And this is absolutely amazing. He didn't go for Play Rough, and I think he choked here. I honestly think he hard choked here. He should have gone for Play Rough, but as we talked like later after the battle, he said that he predicted me, that I was gonna predict that he was gonna go for Sucker Force for Play Rough, so that I would just go for Shadow Ball. So he went for Sucker Punch, and because I went for Shadow Ball, Sucker Punch would KO and he would win the game 4-0 in finals. But no, he ends up going hard Sucker Punch, and now that I'm behind the Substitute, his Sucker Punch can't KO me. I KO him with Shadow Ball. And you might be thinking, Alolan Persian, that probably lives a hit. But after Rocks, Focus Blast through the Chople Berry KOs. And I'm in my head, like, I thought this was GG a long time ago. So basically, I need to rely on me hitting 2 focus blasts, one on the Persian, one on the Kieran Black. And I just have to hope, just hope, that the Siuxi doesn't wake up. It doesn't wake up. This is legendary. This is absolutely legendary. So I can go for another Shadow Ball, and it KOs the Yuxi. Now the Kieran Black comes in, and all I need to do is just land a goddamn Focus Blast. And Mega Alakazam lands the goddamn Focus Blast! Let's fucking go! I was so fucking hyped. Legitimately, I wanted to cry when this happened. This is the most anime shit I've just ever been part of. Legitimately, Alakazam, I'm drafting this thing again. Like, someday, in another league, I'm drafting this shit again. I fucking loved this thing when I used it, and y'all didn't get to see me use it. But I just wanted to show y'all why I lost playoffs, like, earlier in the video. Like, just wanted to show y'all why I really just choked, because I needed this win. I really, really wanted this win, because this is finals. I got my first chip on April 28th of 2021. After 10 months of drafting, like, just being in the community, just getting in Discord, going into servers and drafting. 10 months of that shit, and fucking finally, after 10 long goddamn months, I fucking did it. I fucking did it, baby. Let's fucking go. I'm still so proud of this. Mega Alakazam legitimately just reverse 4-0'd him, and it got every single kill, so yeah, it's on par with regular Scizor and just how much fun I had using it, legitimately. Along with Weavile and Infernape, absolutely top tier. I don't know why people don't use this shit. It's fucking amazing. But yeah, now without further ado, that's the end of the video, guys. I hope y'all had fun with GDL. And like I said before, there will be a draft analysis going up next week as well, so I'm really sad that I lost GDL, but at least I got this finals win and I was able to end on a positive note. I finally got my sweet, sweet victory. So yeah, I love y'all. Like, subscribe, all of that YouTube shit. And goodbye.